All right, good morning, good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to New York session. Okay, welcome. Um, so here we have the dollar index as usual. Yesterday we said price should be reaching for the 97.48 and 97.60 level, and we did get that. All right. So today, I think price is gonna go for yesterday's high. So we will be going for that same level again, 97.60, and the 50% of the range is also now a potential target. So that comes in at 97.90. 97.90. That is currently our new target for this week. So from the weekly time frame perspective, it looks like we are not turning around, but we're having a bounce, right? And we have this range, this up candle, and we are trading inside that range based on that seasonality that I talked about. I think last week we predicted that this week was gonna potentially go up, and we're seeing that so far. So we're expecting price to continue going up. 97.90 level. Okay, so that's our current draw on liquidity. So look for a continuation to the upside on the dollar index, and with that, I think yesterday I spoke about euro and pound also going down. So euro actually went for the previous week low here during the New York session. I didn't forecast what is happening now, but it was forecasted for them to go for this. Now with the dollar index almost going for that previous week high again, and 97.90, it means that euro is also gonna euro is so euro is also gonna trade a little bit okay. So euro is also gonna, like I said, trade a little bit lower again, but yesterday I did say that I prefer the British pound. Why? Because the British pound is going to attack the previous week low, hence I prefer this one, and so far so good. We are coming for the previous week low. This morning I actually shorted. I think I got in on the 15 minutes. I got in on the 15 minutes when price went above the the Asian session high. When you go for we went for the Asian session high. When you go Asian session high and price rejected right here, this candle. Okay, so 1 2 3 candles created a fair value gap, so I shorted the fourth one. Okay, and then so far this is where we are. I've actually taken partial already below this candle's low, and I'm expecting the rest to go here. I think they were gonna do that during the New York session. Do not chase it right now if you're not already in, because chances are they're gonna start pulling back to create a pullback before we eventually go and attack that low. Okay, so on the 1 hour it looks like this. Now I wanna get rid of this for now. Let's get rid of some of these levels, and in case we have a pullback, right, if we come back up this gap here, ideally this one's supposed to be it, this candle's low with this fair value gap. But in case they go way beyond that in terms of pullback, then you sell up here, and the target is 1.35629. Okay, so that is the that is what's up for British pound. Again, I prefer British pound, and the reason is I think yesterday I made mention that once we take out this low into this fair value gap, price is gonna reject, and as soon as we do that, that's when you want to start looking for the British pound to start going reject, and as soon as we do, you want to start, and they did that during the Asian session, and this morning same time that the pound gave that 3 candles on a 15 minutes to create the fair value gap, that same time we had this order block formed, so it confirmed that we are going to go up and British pound is gonna go down. I actually got a buy on this, so I bought the run below the low rejection, and I'm looking for this high to be taken, and then potentially they're gonna go all the way up. So this can also offer a trade idea during this New York session inside either this gap here or that one. One of them is gonna give a trade idea for this New York session. Now you can wait for the New York session between 2 and 3. If we dip into it and give a 15-minute order block, you can buy that, and you can aim for this equal high that they've currently engineered, and you can also leave something on for previous week high. Okay, dollar yen, I think we also traded to that level here, and that was all that I forecasted for yesterday, but it seems that they are going a little bit higher, which I did not forecast, but if I was going to, it was going to be this candle's high. Okay, so where we are now, it's a target. Now, are they going to go all the way up here? I don't think so. It can trade all the way up to here, which is an inverted fair value gap, right? They can trade to that one. Okay, actually it's right there. So 14739, that's a possible target. Okay, that's a possible target. but I personally am not interested in that. I'm only focusing on the British pound and the euro pound. Okay, so I'm long on the euro pound and short on the British pound, and that is all I have. And then on top of that, I actually have a sell on gold, because yesterday gold did not trade to this level, and then it pulled back completely. I got stopped out over here, the trade idea that I shared on the 15 minutes. So I shorted here with my stop loss, with my stop loss above, looking for them to go here during the New York session, but I got stopped out. And since I still believe we're gonna come down here, this is all a pullback, and it's a good pullback, and I'll show you why I sold short. So if you go onto the daily, this up candle, right, it's an auto block. Why is it an auto block? Because it's coming off from this volume imbalance. Okay, so this is a very sensitive auto block. It's a very sensitive auto block, so I'm not expecting it to break easily. That is why when we took out this high and that high, Friday's high, and gave a, I think it was a 15 minutes, yes, we gave a 15 minutes this level right here. I took it out during the Asian session, but I did not trade it during the Asian session. I traded it in London. So right here, that's where I went short, inside this fair value gap. Okay, and I'm targeting this low and potentially that same level. Okay, that is the goal. So this New York session, I'm expecting price to continue going down. Hopefully, I've actually put my stop loss to break even. So if it stops me out, no problem. But if we get this same sort of price action happening here, I'll sell again. So if we get something like this type here, I'll sell again to continue going down. Probably taking partial right in here, 3313.31. that will be a partial target profit, a partial profit level, and then I'll let the rest go. If it stops me out, I'll break even, no problem. I'll wait till the purple line New York session, and then I'll look for the same pattern again. Okay, so that is it for gold. Crude oil, yesterday we went up nicely to my target, which was here, 67.83. we got there nicely, and I still think, based on how the daily closed above this down candle, I still think we might trade through this volume imbalance. Okay, we might trade through this volume imbalance, because I've not seen any aggressive drop away from it, right? There's not been any down candle, up candle with immediate sharp close. This one is not it. Okay, this one happened during Asia, so that's not it. So I'm looking forward for a continuation to the upside. So maybe a buy with a stop loss below this is not bad. Okay, to continue going up. I think we might get an aggressive run up this afternoon. So fingers crossed, let's see. Because I feel like they've accumulated a lot of longs during this period, right? doing this whole sideways business over here. So we might be in for a potential move to the upside. So let's see this New York session if we can get a push away from this with a stop loss. If it stops you out, no problem. Look for price to pull back here and then continue going higher because of the down candle on the daily, right? This is a nice order block here, so I'm expecting this to act as a springboard and then shoot price higher. And then finally ES. I think yesterday we spoke about ES also. During the New York session, if we get a red candle form, then they are going to trade to the levels that I mentioned yesterday, which was 6271 and then 6260. Okay, now I also got a short on that, and I'll show you where I shorted. I think it was a 5-minute entry on a gap right here. It was a very low risk, no drawdown entry right in here. So that gap right there, that is where I placed my sell limit, and I got triggered. I was watching it here when this candle closed. As soon as that candle closed, I placed the sell limit here, and then I got triggered on the next candle, and the rest was history. And you can see price went for my target nicely. Now today, that same area left a 1 hour fair value gap right in there. So I'm anticipating that this New York session will pull back to that and potentially go down again. Okay, so watch the 6292.50 level to 6297. Okay, now again, wait for time between 2 and 3. If we come in there, look for the same pattern that I just showed you over here. As a matter of fact, I missed the first entry. I should have shorted this 15-minute order block here, right here. This is the one that I should have shorted, but I missed it, and then it created another one, and then I shorted that instead. So again, wait for the time. Right, I've said several times about why time is relevant. So wait for the time. It's not about the price, it's about the time. And when the time comes, if we are here and then they give that rejection, then you basically go short. All right, so that is that for the ES. Now let's move on to the cryptos, AI16Z, but let's start with the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we are still not moved anywhere much, and like I said, this is just for, it's potentially placing in the low of the week. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we need an immediate close to confirm that we are going up, or they will trade to that fair value gap on the H4 that I mentioned yesterday, which was over here. So it's either we go up, close above yesterday's high, or we come back down here, and that's when you start looking for your potential order block to form, and then you buy that. Okay, okay. Ethereum, Same thing. I think it actually traded to the gap yesterday, this one. And let me see on the 15 minutes if it gave, sorry, on the hourly if it gave any of the pattern that I talked about. It kind of did in here. Right, we started shooting away. Let's go to the 4 again. So this is the gap. And on the 1 hour, we started shooting away with imbalances. This is what I was talking about yesterday. So when we trade to any gap and price is moving away, you want to see price creating imbalances. And funny enough, this morning, this morning, I was having a nap. But before I did sleep, I was contemplating about imbalances. And lo and behold, I had a dream. And I was being explained within the dream what an imbalance is, truly what it is. But funny enough, again, I don't remember what I was being told. I kind of have a little bit of a impression on what I was being taught, but to recall everything, I don't recall everything. But imbalances are basically a consequence of natural movement. Okay, price creates these imbalances. So there are two forces, right? There are two forces. We live in polarity. We have the positive and the negative. We have the left and right, up and down, right? So the market also has two forces. So you have the positive and the negative. So the negative creates the imbalances, and then the positive rebalances. Okay, so within the dream, that's something that I recall, that the negative creates the imbalances and then the positive rebalances. So that's why imbalances work, because it's a natural phenomenon where wherever there's an imbalance, there needs to be balance. All right, that's why when price trades to these imbalances, right, it actually work. Again, it depends on your perspective, how you view the market. I don't view the market as a normal thing. I view it as a living entity, okay, like a living force of nature. And if you view it like that, it can communicate to you as well, like it did in my dream today. So yeah, that's why when we are trading to any imbalance, you want to see price rebalancing and then creating because it's a force, right? It cannot be imbalanced all the time. Nature, it doesn't work like that. It's not always going to be sunny. It's not always going to be cold. So you have a bit of sun, you have a bit of cold. Okay, it's the same way with price. When it creates imbalances, it needs to be rebalanced. That's why we focus where there are imbalances, because wherever there is an imbalance, price will definitely want to come back. It's a natural thing. Okay, it's a natural phenomenon where positive and negative balances each other out. Okay, so that's a bit of tip for you. Hence, that's why yesterday I was pointing to all these imbalances. So Bitcoin hasn't traded to this one yet. We are looking for price to do that. Solana, nice one. We traded to it and then rejected. So the 1 hour probably started creating it from now. It didn't create anything here, so I wouldn't have traded it personally. If I was trading this, I wouldn't have traded it at the time. Okay, so I think it's just a matter of time. If we close above yesterday's high, longs to continue going up to here. Okay, so wait patiently, let price close above previous day's high, then you can start looking for longs. So then stay out, because I don't think it's ready yet. XRP, same thing. I think they took out the low and then created an order block. Okay, I did not ask about order blocks. Maybe when I'm sleeping tonight, I'll ask about order blocks. Okay, because I was only focusing on imbalances, but I'll ask about order blocks, and probably tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be taught what they are, and then I'll come and share it with you all. All right. Okay, let's move on to so yeah, I think yesterday this thing happened after our session, because we were looking for price to move and go and attack that. I do remember now. Yes, we were expecting them to go and attack that after this candle closed. So yeah, I do remember why I placed this. So yesterday I spoke about this gap giving this order block, and then you buying this candle to go and attack this equal high, and I recall, but it rejected immediately. But I still think we're gonna go up, because that created, so now that is done, it created this gap here, and we've dipped into it, rejected today. H4 created an order block again, buying that one and expecting expansion to continue going up. I like that. Okay, so another, I think we came a little bit too late, but that would have been the entry, and then you expect a continuation to the upside to that fair value gap on the daily here. So 2.383, that's the next upside objective on Ripple. And I like the fact that they've also managed to close through this gap, right? This will now become inverted fair value gap, and we have 2 gaps created so far. This can be used for the low of the next H4 candle. So this H4 candle that has just opened, they can use this to form the low of that candle and then expand up. If you want to enter, you can use that one and then place your stop loss below this low, and you're expecting them to continue going up with a partial. It's a bit too close, but you know, if you want, take partial there and then let the rest go by taking something off here as well. Now the reason why, you know, I have to point it out is because it's there. It's a gap. Now it's not a gap if we were trading currencies. Okay, if we were trading currencies, this wouldn't be a gap for me. This would just go through it, but since this is not currencies, we have to obviously respect it, because who knows, cryptos are different. Hype, we are still not interested in it. I think I said several times we are expecting them to come here before we go up. So until then, hype is now on what's the word I need to use here? Hype is on detention. Okay, hype is on detention, or is it not detention? Yeah, the punishment you give to kids when they mess up. you put them into detention, right? That is what I'm expecting hype to be now. So hype is on detention for now. AI16Z still stuck inside that consolidation, so nothing to do yet. We are still looking for that displacement to happen before we do anything. And then Jatski, let's see what's happening. Okay, so it looks like we are getting a rejection. Let's check on the H4 and see how it looks like. So far it looks good, I think. Yeah, it looks good. We probably be screaming higher very soon because they've closed above the imbalance, right? They've closed above this. So natural causes has prevailed. The positive has returned. So now the negative will start creating imbalances on this side, and the positive will rebalance them and then go up. So as it stands, from what I'm seeing, we might be coming up here because that's where price needs to rebalance. So 0. So many zeros, 9063. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, 9063. That is likely going to be the next upside objective, unless they come for this low again. As long as this low is intact, that is where price is looking to go. Okay, so that is pretty much it on the crypto side. Now let's go back to the currencies and see what's up with euro, pound, euro, pound. Okay, so I like euro, pound. It seems like we are pulling back into the fair value gap. So like I said, we have two of them, this one and that one. So this New York session, I think this would be the best one to focus on. You want the 15 minutes to give you something like this, right? You're watching the 15 minutes to give you something like this. Yesterday, I'll show you where I got in. So I think it was on the 15 minutes here. Yeah, right here. So if you see this imbalance, it was actually out of time, but since this gap is meant to reject price, any imbalance that creates or anything that shoots away from it with an imbalance, that's all I'm looking for. So when that happened over here, immediately I placed a buy limit because I was anticipating them to use it for the next morning. So I didn't see this happening. Probably saw it when I woke up this morning that I was already in. So same thing, you want price to give you either an imbalance or an order block during this New York session, and then you can get in to go and attack this equal high. I love the way they've left it so clean. Okay, so that is that. And I think I've already talked about gold. Gold, you're looking at this fair value gap for a rejection. I think it's on the 1 hour. Okay, you're looking for that to give us a rejection on the 15 minutes. If you get that same sort of price action here, then you're going to be aiming for 3,313.31. But wait for it first. From experience, I don't trust price coming up and selling anymore. Okay, so from experience, I don't trust this is an impulse, this is a pullback, let's go short. I don't trust that anymore. Okay, and it's of I would say personal experience. Hence I look at time of the day and then confirmation. And if you do that, you're going to be amazed how easy it is to catch these sniper entries. And I did show you example over here, right? How I caught that one. So you wait, time of the day, price action, and it took me a very long time to really deeply understand what we mean by time. Okay, what we mean by time, and I've explained it over here as time creates memory. Okay, it's because of time that we have something called memory. So time itself, okay, is what the algorithm uses to create memories. So when time is not aligned, it's not going to create any memory, and any memory that is not aligned with time is irrelevant. I just gave you something very powerful. Rewind it and then listen to it again. I said time is what creates memory. Okay, time is what creates memory, but memory without time is irrelevant. Meaning, a gap without time is irrelevant. An order block without time is irrelevant, but time with a gap is highly relevant. Time with order block is highly relevant. That is why this is very it's a good trade than that one, because this is happening during time. Okay, all right, like I said, I've given you something very, very powerful this morning. If you listen to it, it's going to help you. If you don't, that's your business. Okay, so I'll see you all same time tomorrow for another live session. Again, I'm going to repeat, pound for 1.35629. That is the target. Don't get caught into the pullback. It's just trying to pull back to go for it. So hunt for a sell. Euro pound, hunt for a buy. Gold, hunt for a sell. The ES, hunt for a sell. Crude oil, hunt for a buy. Okay, that's all for now. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you all same time tomorrow. Peace.